Okay, so I give up with technology. I recorded everything before and nothing is uploading. So we're going to do this. Take two. So, okay, so I'm going to take a little bit of time with you guys and break down and talk to you guys about this nutrition plan, okay? So I have 21 Day Fix Extreme. Some of you had 21 Day Fix. PiYo. Trying to think of some other ones. P90X3 was another one. 22-minute hardcore, hammer and chisel. All of those actually follow this guide. So I'm going to start here with you guys and just break it down for anybody that is new, and then a refresher for those of you that are not. So, okay, very first thing is these wonderful little containers. If you don't have them, let me know. You can always order them through Team Beachbody as well, but there are measurements too for them. And I honestly, guys, I never eat out of these. I just use them for measuring. I'm going to talk about that a little bit when I talk about meal prepping. Okay, so you have green veggies, purple fruits, red protein, yellow carbs, blue healthy fats, and orange seeds and dressings. Okay, so the next thing that you need to do is figure out what your caloric target range is. You can see my wonderful children decided to do an art project on mine, but you've got to decide, are you sedentary lifestyle, are you moderate lifestyle, are you extreme lifestyle, active or like very active. So my book is a little bit different than the regular 21 Day Fix in regards to calculations. But I do believe for moderate lifestyle, take your weight, multiply it by 11, add 400, and then subtract 700, I believe is the regular 21 Day Fix. My extreme is take your weight, multiply by 12, add 450 minus 750. Either one, you're going to hit into this caloric target range, okay? So here is the ranges. I fall into this first one, and I'm going to touch on something in just a second about that. I never go to this 1200 calorie range. That's too little calories. This is not anything where you are starving yourself. You should never be hungry or starving or feel like you are being deprived of food. This is not what this is about at all. If that's the case, we need to recheck some things, okay? So within this, it tells you how many of each container that you are allotted every single day, okay? So you take this, and then we are going to talk more tomorrow about actually meal planning and prepping. But I use a Word document. There's also a file that I put into the files section. I want you guys to check that out. It is amazing. It's you write how many of each containers you have throughout the day, and then you can check them off throughout the day as you eat them. And you can plan for the entire 21 days, 7 days, however many days that you want to plan for. And you plan your breakfast, snacks, lunch, and dinner. An amazing way to track. I would strongly recommend printing that out and manually handwriting that stuff in. And I promise you it will get easier. Okay? So if you are hungry, and you fall into whatever range you're in, and you just feel like you are starving, not that you need to be emotionally eating or that you're bored and you feel like you need to put food in your mouth, that you physically, your stomach is physically growling, I want you to talk to me, and we can talk about either going up into a different caloric target range, or add a vegetable or a protein. I don't want you adding fruits because that's additional, as great as fruits are, and there's additional sugars. And then the one common thing that I get from a lot of people is, I'm so hungry, I need to add a carb. No, you don't actually have to add a carb. You just think you have to add a carb, and you like carbs. So I don't want you adding carbs. It's not necessary. Carbs, I don't know, it's funny how I feel like our society thinks that like carbs is what's going to fill, that's going to be your filler. And I mean, it kind of is a filler in a sense, but it's not what you are wanting. So I promise you, if you go and fix a cup of broccoli, you will not be hungry anymore. So that is my suggestion. So a green or a red if you are starving. And then if we're still hungry after that, we'll talk about bumping it up into the caloric target range. But this is not, this is supposed to be simple, this is supposed to be structured, and this is not supposed to starve you. So next couple things I want to go over is your containers. So every meal plan guide, whatever program you're in, actually should break this down for you of the different, even if it's not color-coded necessarily, different vegetables and fruits. So here's the list of vegetables. I want you on every single category to go through your list and star the things that you enjoy, and I want you to put a circle around the things that you're willing to try. I want you to step outside of your comfort zone. I hated vegetables, like despised vegetables. Before I began this, I like maybe ate a vegetable like a week. And so I have come and evolved and love vegetables now. There are still some that I refuse to eat, but I have expanded my network of vegetables a whole lot. So on these lists, though, I want you to pay attention to the top 50% of the foods on that list, because those are going to be your most nutrient-dense foods and the ones that I want you sticking to about 70% of the time. Not to say that you can't go below it, but sticking to the top 50% is going to get you the most nutrient-dense foods. For purple, for your fruits, berries are going to be your absolute best fruits, but same thing, top 50%. Red, lean meats, fish. I'm allergic to fish, so I can't have that. Just found that out last year. And but like your chickens and your turkey, and we eat a lot of venison in here in this house. So that is actually on that. Greek yogurt falls into that. Eggs fall into that. So your Shakeology is also your protein. So keep that in mind. Again, top 50%. Carbs, the one thing that we love the most of, sweet potatoes, ultimate carb right there. That's going to be your best carb. Sweet potatoes, yams, quinoa. If you are having rice and you like rice, that is okay. Obviously have brown rice, but an awesome alternative is quinoa for that. And you will probably be surprised at how much you can put quinoa in. So on here, you have for your carbs, you do have, it gives you the pasta, the whole wheat tortillas, the whole grain bread, like Ezekiel bread and stuff like that. But I really want you to try to stay away from those as much as you can during this challenge. You can have them every now and then, but I really want you to try to stay away from them as much as possible. Okay? Oatmeal is actually on the bottom 50% of your carbs list, but oatmeal is actually a debloater, and it is a very good carb to have. It's a great thing, in the mornings. If you want easy, talk about prep. There is recipes that I can give you guys that are in like little mason jars. You put your old-fashioned oats, not instant, but old-fashioned oats in there, let it sit overnight. And you can put berries in it, honey, and it's delicious. So that is that. Blue container, your avocados is going to be your absolute best healthy fat. In my book with the extreme cheese is kind of taken out, but I do have some cheese, not a lot. But it's just more for me internally than anything else. But avocado, nuts, hummus, all that stuff goes in there. And orange containers, I use that mostly for my salad dressings. And then there's different kind of seeds that fall into those. And then you got your teaspoons, so your nut butters, your oils, and stuff like that. The biggest thing for me that I hear a lot of is healthy eating is boring. none of my family eats it. None of my family enjoys it. And that is, I think, a mentality shift. I think it's like, oh my gosh, it's healthy. It obviously cannot be good. But that's not the case at all. You can experiment so much with spices. There's so many fun spices out there that flavor up your food. I actually have a chuck roast in the crock pot as we speak. And it has nothing in there other than spices. That is it. It creates its own juices. It creates a flavor, and with those spices, and that is it. And that's going to like provide us with like 4 different meals. So on that note, I want you to know that healthy eating can be done on a budget. I want you to, when you go shopping, stay on the outskirts of the grocery store, the produce, the meats, the dairies. Obviously limit your dairies, but you've got your eggs over there. You don't need to be going into the middle of the grocery store for that many things other than like your quinoa and black beans and stuff like that. So other than that, most of your stuff, other than stuff you might get for your kids, will come from the outskirts of the grocery store. And get stuff that makes a lot. This meat that I'm talking about, it's 3 pounds of meat, and it creates so much. And we do tacos, like taco bowls with it. You can put it on a salad. You can just eat it plain. There's so much that you can do it, and it creates so much for you. So plan ahead, plan for that sort of things. So as we go into planning and prepping, I'm going to talk a little bit about that. I spend 1 day a week figuring out, and just really, it comes a lot easier now that I've been doing it. At first, it's going to take you a little bit of time, but utilize the resources that I put for you in the file section of our app. And there are recipes in there and guides for you. Actually, I put a 3-week slim down in there with every single food and meal that you could potentially eat for 3 weeks. So go through there. There's recipes in that. I have attached other recipes as well. Pinterest is like a source of knowledge for recipes. Play around, have some fun, experimenting and finding these things for yourself. Again, it does not have to be, it does not have to be something that is boring. It can definitely be tasteful and enjoyable. So when it comes down to that prep, again, like I said, use the files, figure it out of what you need to be doing per container. I don't really care what program you're on. This is the ultimate way to eat, and I really want you to try to stick with that. Again, if you don't have the containers, I can talk to you and give you the measurements, or you can buy the containers, but I'm almost positive most of you all have the containers. So in regards to prepping, so I go to the grocery store, I come back, and it's going to take a little bit of time. It's going to take a little bit of time getting used to, but I promise you it will save so much time in the long run. Some people prep their meats. I don't prep my meat because I'm worried about that. But I do chop all my vegetables. I use the containers, and I get, Walmart actually has colored baggies other than purple. And so I have just a regular plastic container for that. And I use my cups as measuring cups, and I dump in my fruits for the day. I dump in, I cut and chop the vegetables. I dump that in. A lot of times for the vegetables, though, I don't measure those out because I cook it for a whole meal, and then I measure it out once I cook it for myself. So what I've done is I get these wonderful little shoebox containers. I think they're $1 a piece. And they're labeled each day of the week. And I haven't done it in a while, but I did do for a long time index cards of what I was going to eat for every single meal. And I would put all these baggies in this wonderful container, starting with breakfast up here at the front. What am I going to have for breakfast? What is my snack? What is my lunch? I'm able to do this, though, because I stay at home with my kids. I know that there are a lot of you that work throughout the day, so the best way that a lot of people do that is just Tupperware. containers and literally set their Tupperware containers out for days on end and put their meals in those Tupperware containers and just grab and go. That is the structure that you need to have to get this down. I promise you it will be so worth it. And takes all the guesswork out. It takes all those temptations of running through a fast food chain restaurant or somewhere quick to grab a bite when you have everything planned. Because I promise you, when you take the time to plan your meals, you are not going to want to like go run somewhere to get food because it's like, I have that planned. I have like, that's good. That's done. I worked for that. And so those are kind of my tips for you. If you have any questions, obviously we'll go into some more detail about all different things throughout the week, but I want you guys to really focus these next couple days. Go find some good recipes. If you find any awesome ones, please share. I'm always looking for awesome recipes. But plan out your meals and prep and take that time. And I know the first couple weeks might be weird, but you get used to it and you actually will learn to kind of enjoy it because it saves so much time when you go to cook throughout the week. Like when I go to cook and my vegetables are chopped and I don't have to do anything and I can just dump it into a pan and saute it, makes me very happy. So anyway, I hope that answered some questions. If you have any more, never hesitate to ask. And I will see you guys later tonight.